the flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you please conduct the roll call?
President Kushmarek.
Present.
Councilor Bean. Councilor Boishman.
Present.
Councilor Beazall.
Present.
Councilor Clark.
Here.
Councilor Di Natale.
Here.
Councilor Donnelly. Councilor Green.
Present.
Councilor Joseph.
Here.
Councilor Caddy.
Here.
Councilor Tran.
Here.
Before we go to public forum, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for the victims of the Las Vegas tragedy. Thank you. Public forum. Anyone wishing to speak on any matter on the agenda may do so for not more than 2 minutes. If you are addressing public hearing petitions, you'll have an opportunity to speak at that time. Please approach the center table and identify yourself by name and address for the record and the item on the agenda which you are addressing. Does anyone wish to speak at this time? Seeing none, if there are no objections, I'll now hear an oral report from the Appointments Committee. We met earlier this evening at 7 o'clock. We have 2 new appointments, permanent full-time firefighters for the city of Fitchburg, Joshua R. Surrett and Kevin D. Machado.
Motion to approve the appointments committee report.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve the Appointments Committee report and to confirm the appointments. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please conduct the swearing in? Chief?
Raise your right hand and repeat after me to take an oath. I do solemnly promise and swear
I do solemnly promise and swear
that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I will faithfully and impartially,
and to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform and discharge all the duties
perform and discharge all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a permanent full-time firefighter
as a permanent full-time firefighter
for the city of Fitchburg.
for the city of Fitchburg.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Stay safe.
Congratulations.
Stay safe out there. Good luck.
Congratulations.
Good luck. Stay safe.
Good luck to you. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Good luck.
And to both of you, if you'd like to take photos with your family, please feel free. In fact, I'd encourage you to do so. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. With the chief and, yeah.
Should get out of here.
Is he coming?
I always do what the chief tells me.
Two at once.
Can we do one without the thing?
Wait a minute. Yeah, right? Is that just a bald head? Wait a minute. All right, we're good? You guys want to get out of here? Ready? We're all set, right?
Gentlemen, you all set?
There's actually these sparkle things. I'm gonna have them on my butt now.
What day? Do we already have the day set?
I'm not gonna say another word.
No, just.
Not like an STD.
Something people, can we just go on with the meeting? Busy public safety. Public safety commission on the agenda.
So it's two inconsistent.
Councilors, we all set? All right. Resuming with the agenda, councilors, Councilor Donnelly is not with us this evening, and as a result, we're going to hold the report from the Committee on Records until next week. That said, we have several communications from His Honor the Mayor. First letter of appointment, Ms. Joanne Hughes to the Board of Registrars of Voters for a term to expire April 1st, 2019. Appointments, Thomas J. Justinius as a member of the Fitchburg Cultural Council for a term to expire September 1st, 2020. Third, Matthew Kroc as a member of the Fitchburg Cultural Council for a term to expire September 1st, 2020. And item 4, Michelle Marino to be reappointed as Veteran Service Commissioner for a term to expire October 1st, 2020. That'll be sent to appointments. We also have one other communication this evening from the Pension Reserves Investment Board statement, and that'll be placed on file in the City Clerk's office. Resuming with the agenda, next we have a Public Safety Committee oral report. Council Green.
Move the Public Safety Committee report be accepted.
Second.
I have a motion and second to accept the Public Safety Committee oral report. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. The motion carries. Hearing 11417, City of Fitchburg Planning Board to discontinue as public way the section of Westminster Hill Road within Game On property boundary as outlined in the enclosed petition. Declare the hearing open, and I'd like to invite petitioners as well as I believe Mr. Marsden and his counsel to join us. And gentlemen, if you could kindly introduce yourself by name and address for the record.
Stephen Marsden.
For the record, Tom Pavenzi representing Game On and Steve Marsden in this petition.
Thank you. Floor is yours.
Yes, this is one of the items that was stipulated in the special permit from the planning board from the approvals for the Game On soccer facility. And it's the discontinuance of the public way just within the project limits as shown on the plans that you received. And part of the planning board special permit also required that the city still have the right to install utilities of any kind, we're required to have paved access and maintained for emergency vehicles, and they wanted to make sure that we had pedestrian and bicycle access through that section as well. So those rights will be reserved to the city.
Questions from councilors. Councilor Green.
Is that, is it gonna be placed on your, deed as a permanent easement to allow those?
Yes, yes it would, yes.
Councilor Caddy.
A question for Michael here.
Should we have Mike this evening? Oh. Mike, if you wouldn't mind joining us up front. Also joining us this evening is Michael O'Hara, City Planning.
Mike, there's specific documentation for trails easement. Could you make sure that that trail easement gets documented and signed in this project?
Okay, sure.
I can show you what it is, afterwards, but it's specific, and not that we would do it in the near future or whatever, but it would give us the opportunity to do that. It's very specific, and I know Mr. Marsden has agreed to it, but it's just very specific so that it goes along with this abandonment, if that's okay.
That would be acceptable, yes.
So to be clear, is this outside of the right-of-way of West
No, it
Lucille
would be,
Road?
it would be
In
within,
the right-of-way.
yeah, I mean, I think from what I understand, you're gonna pave the road, and you're gonna allow the city access for emergency vehicles. So somewhere in that area would be this trail easement, just so that people could get through your property, possibly over into Westminster somehow, either
Sure.
by bike or by walking.
Yeah, as part of the planning board process, we had agreed that there would be, from point A to point B, that they could get from point A to point B. But if there were, if we, the special permit required that I paved that whole section in one portion, there wouldn't be room to put a bicycle trail right there, but we would provide a location for a bicycle trail so
Sure.
that they could get from point A to point B.
Yep, great, thank you.
Any further questions from councilors? Councilor Boishman.
I just want to make sure I understand what we're doing here. So, you're going to allow people to walk up there like they do now? Are you going to allow them to use their bicycles? What about dirt bikes and bikes?
No mo, the planning board permit did not allow for motorized vehicles. It was just for pedestrian and bicycle access.
It's for that. All right.
If I could, just for the genesis of this, I think it was suggested during the public hearing before the planning board, as these gentlemen remember, you want the principal access to Game On coming through the industrial park and then taking a right. If someone punches in at Westminster Road on their GPS, we don't want folks to be coming from the southerly approach, down that traveling 3.5 miles to the end, finding a turnaround, turning around in someone's driveway. So that's why, if this passes, hopefully that stretch will be taken off the map, and you wouldn't be directed to it by your smartphone.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hara.
Yes, just to add to that, I can, after this occurs, I can contact Google Maps, and they will take it off of their map, so the GPSs will no longer direct people down that section of the road.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm sure the neighbors will appreciate that.
I was just gonna say, this is for the protection of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So is he going to
Counselor
change the
Boishman.
name? Is he going to change the name from Westminster Road to Game On Road?
Counselor, I believe he's saying they'll contact Google to make sure that the road is properly listed as closed, so people's GPS do not redirect them by way of a closed road. It would still retain its present name.
All right.
Counselor Joseph.
I believe I have a petition in property committee to rename the road without any specific name just yet, so I haven't brought it up in the property committee because there's no indication, till I get a street name, I'm not gonna entertain the,
But to clarify, that's not the portion
okay.
abutting Mr. Marsden's property that's being discussed tonight. That, I believe, is from the end of the industrial road to the right, to the start of the Game On property. Call that Game On Way, Soccer Way, or something that would have a unique address.
Right, okay.
That's what's intended before your.
Unless there's any further questions from counselors, I'd ask if there's anyone here who wishes to speak in favor of the petition. Is there anyone here who wishing to speak in opposition to the petition? If all have been heard, I declare the hearing closed. The matter is now before the council.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Loan order 21717. Ordered that loan order 08517 of this council adopted on May 16, 2017, and approved by the mayor on May 18, 2017, authorizing the borrowing of $2,500,000 to pay costs of constructing approximately 12,300 feet of water main on various city streets, included but not limited to replacing existing cast iron water mains with cement-lined ductile iron water mains, installation of new fire hydrants and valves, and the replacement of service lines, and the payment of all other costs incidental and related thereto is amended to also permit the expenditure of such funds to make water tank repairs and/or roof replacements at pump stations. Final reading.
Motion to send 217 to its final reading.
Second.
I have a motion and second to send 21717 to its final reading. Councilors, this will be done by roll call. Madam Clerk.
President Kushmarek,
Yay.
Counselor Bean, Counselor Boishman,
Yes.
Counselor Beazall,
Yay.
Counselor Clark,
Yes.
Counselor Di Natale,
Yes.
Counselor Donnelly, Counselor Green,
Yay.
Counselor Joseph.
Yes.
Counselor Caddy,
Yes.
Counselor Tran,
Yes.
unanimous.
It is unanimous. Orders Finance 23917.
Move 239-17 and 240-17, given suspension of the rules. Second.
I have a motion and second for suspension of the rules on 239 and 24017. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? They are before you.
Move 239-17 and 240-17 be granted. Second.
I have a motion and second to grant 239 and 24017. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Order Other 24117. And councilors, I'd ask that this be sent and referred to Finance. I have a motion and second to refer 24117 to the Finance Committee. Speaking to the motion, Councilor Green.
Just that, to finance and a city property, or not onto city property at all?
I would ask that it be sent directly to Finance. The property was already retrofitted and used for this purpose. It's simply a matter of agreeing to the financial terms and stipulations of the agreement.
Okay, thank you.
A motion and second to send to Finance, 24117. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries. Ordinances.
Move 237-17 be sent to its third and final reading, enrolled or data advertised.
Second.
I have a motion and second to send 23717 to its third and final reading, enrolled, ordained, and advertised. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries. Petitions.
242-17 through 245-17 be sent to respective committees.
Second.
Motion and second to send 24217 up to and including 24517 to their respective committees. Speaking to the motion, Councilor Boishman.
May I ask 243-17 be transferred to Public Works?
Are there any objections from councilors?
Nope.
I have a motion and a second to send 24217 up to and including 24517 to their respective
President?
committees. Councilor Caddy.
On 24317, Dunkin' Donuts on Electric Ave is relatively new. Could we request the plot plan from Dunkin' Donuts when it was built and actually ask the planning board why a sidewalk was never in the plan? And I talked to Councilor Boishman about this earlier, and there's a sidewalk that runs the length of Franklin and Electric, but when you get to Dunkin' Donuts, when they put the new building in, there's no sidewalk. And it just makes me wonder how it slipped through the cracks, that we had a new building go in, they interrupted a sidewalk, and it never got rebuilt.
Should we then refer it to planning board for a site review before it being sent to Public Works?
Yeah,
Council is amenable to that request.
I have no problem with that request.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and second. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries. Councilors, before we go into move into executive session, just announcements before they turn off the mics. I'd like to thank our counselor, Joel Caddy, for all of his work, along with those members of the committee for planning the Blacksmith Festival this past weekend. Despite the freezing temperatures and driving rain, it was certainly a great time and a nice, proud tradition in our city. So thank you, Counselor Caddy, and the committee that worked with you. Music Festival Committee, again, it moved indoors and went on without a hitch, and I'd like to thank the countless volunteers and members of the planning committee for the music festival, as well as I'd like to thank our city treasurer, Calvin Brooks, for constructing a speedmobile, AJ Tarigny for piloting it, and Marcus Scott for being the driving force behind that AJ Tarigny in this year's annual Gardner Chair Luge. And if I remember correctly, Mayor DiNatale, who is on hand, may have issued a challenge that we should try to win this event next year at all costs. So, gentlemen, no pressure for next year. I'd also like to announce the Fitchburg Oktoberfest on Saturday, October 14th, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Fitchburg Armory, located at 14 Wallace Ave, rear entrance. Tickets and more information can be found at facebook.com/Oktobergfest. Is there anywhere else tickets can be purchased, Councilor Caddy?
We don't know yet. We just got them in our hand today. Sorry.
Tickets can also be purchased at the door that day. Are there any other announcements from Councilor Boschman?
I got one announcement. I'd like to say congratulations to Councilor Beasley for becoming a new Pepe.
Congratulations.
Baby girl. And she's going to name him Paula.
That name never came up.
Councilors, do I have a motion to enter into executive session? To discuss strategy with respect to litigation between the City of Fitchburg versus Massachusetts Interlocal Insurance Agency, MIA, which is demonstrably likely an open meeting will have a detrimental effect on the litigation or negotiation position of the public body, and the chair so declares. That said, I have a motion. Do I have a second to enter into?
Second.
I have a motion and second to enter into executive session, and we need a roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
President Kushmerek?
Yay.
Councilor Bean, Councilor Boschman,
Yes.
Councilor Beazall,
Yes.
Councilor Clark,
Yes.
Councilor DiNatale, Councilor Donnelly, Councilor Green, Councilor Joseph,
Yes.
Councilor Caddy,
Yes.
Councilor Tran.
Yes.
We will now enter into executive session, and we will resume the meeting only to formally adjourn. Councilors, would we like to ask FHTV to clear out now, or would we like to jump immediately into executive session?